Senator Karin Housley has been a leader in the multi-year effort to free the growler, an effort that became law last month. She joins me now to talk more about it. Welcome.
Thank you. Free the growler. It is freed.
It is freed. You said that this has been an 8-year effort to get this bill done. So why do you think that it took so long?
Well, it's craft brewery. It's a growing industry, continues to be. They had to organize themselves. You couldn't just have one craft brewer saying, this is something that we need. They had to get their group together, come to the Capitol, and tell us why it was important for all of our small communities, which it was very important. These brewers are, it's a craft that Minnesotans are really traveling around the state, picking up a growler here and there, and that helps in their growth. So this was a big deal to all of our craft brewers.
Everyone is talking about freeing the growler. And for those who may not know, growlers are typically 64-ounce containers that craft beer connoisseurs can take to go, just like you said. So for example, a couple is going to go visit a craft brewery. They try a brown ale that they think is absolutely amazing. They want to take some with them. They buy a growler. What was the problem that some brewers were running into?
So there's a cap. You could only brew so many barrels, 20,000 barrels. And once you hit that, so if it's Liftbridge and Stillwater, once they hit the 20,000 barrel mark, they couldn't sell the growler anymore. And my daughter, she was actually up in Two Harbors and she went to Castle Danger and she calls me and she goes, Mom, can you believe you can't get a growler up here at Castle Danger? I just want to bring one home. Well, they far surpassed the 20,000 barrels. And so that really hurt them because that's how they would grow their industry. They would test out a certain beer and see how the public liked it by the number of growlers, and then they'd know to take that one to cans and bottles and to liquor stores. So it was kind of their test market. So when you squelch a business from growing like that, that's just not the Minnesota way. So to let them go past that 20,000 barrel, I really wanted it to go to unlimited. I don't think we should put a cap on them at all to say you have to stop growing or stop selling growlers once you reach this cap. But we've got it up to 150,000 barrels. There were only 5 small breweries in the country that weren't allowed to sell growlers because of the cap, and they were all here in Minnesota.
And so this cap, as you just said, it was 20,000. It goes all the way up to 150,000. You say you wish it were unlimited, but still, that is a huge leap. How do we prevent any of these from becoming the next Budweiser, or do we want to? Like, this just seems like a really big jump in the number of barrels able to be sold, or the cap.
Well, and I don't know why we would want to stop anybody from becoming the next Budweiser. Why would we, if Medtronic starts out of somebody's garage, why would we want to prevent them from becoming Medtronic worldwide? So I don't think I would ever want to stop them from becoming the next Budweiser. Liftbridge and Stillwater, that would be great. What ended up happening with Liftbridge too is because there was the growler cap, they moved their headquarters over to Wisconsin because they didn't have that growler cap. So they employ more people over in Wisconsin, more tax dollars over to Wisconsin. It was sad because there was other places they wanted to expand here in Stillwater even, and they had to move. So it was really important to raise that growler cap. And if a company wants to grow to the size of Budweiser, so be it. It would be great to have another Minnesota beer company grow.
Well, and so that begs the question. I was, in preparing for our conversation, I re-listened to the Senate debate on this bill. And at one point, I just sort of rolled my eyes because it was caps and barrels and milliliters and gallons and all of these measurements. You know, the laws restricting this, you can do this, you know, I mean, it begged the question, is this level of complexity necessary in Minnesota's liquor laws? And I would assume that this is a vestige of prohibition, and my question is, will lawmakers just continually whittle away at some of these things to make it more of an open market, and should it be so?
We did have some prohibition-era liquor laws, and Minnesota liked it that way, but over the course of the last 8 years, they really were pressuring us to change some of those to help our small businesses grow. And I don't know if we're going to keep coming back, because this was a big one. Some of the organizations have made an agreement outside of the legislature that they won't be coming back for a while because this was so huge. And again, like you said, the number of milliliters or barrels, all of these different numbers, again, my daughter said, Mom, this is crazy. This is crazy. What do you mean there's caps? I don't get it. Just let me buy a 4-pack from Liftbridge or Castle Danger. So I don't think we'll be coming back for quite a while because I think this solved a lot of the problems of today.
Well, and one other thing we should mention, the benefit to some of the smaller brewers and craft distillers is that these small brew pubs can now sell 4 or 6 packs in addition to growlers. And the distilleries can sell up to 750 milliliters per person per day. What does this mean for the bottom line for these smaller businesses?
And again, it's not where they make their money. That's not it. This is just really a take-home for tourists. They're not going to every day go get a 4-pack from their local brewery. That doesn't even make sense. It's more as a take-home, go home, have your family try it. It's not a big money maker for the bottom line. And again, I forgot to add, we didn't add that they can sell more of their own product out their front door. That is still capped at 750 barrels. So once they reach that, they can't sell more than that in growlers or 4-packs. So it's not more going out into the market. That still stays the same. It's just allowing that brewery to grow, to sell even more so the wholesalers can get it out to the liquor stores.
Again, very confusing. So one other thing I must mention is that remarks at the governor's bill signing revolved around helping businesses and building community. The law also creates a new social district experiment in Anoka. It extends hours for some major sporting events. It allows strong beer sales at town ball games and auto races. But support on the Senate floor was not unanimous. Senator Mark Johnson raised concerns about making alcohol more accessible to people when alcohol abuse contributes to so many health and societal problems. How do you think about the more problematic aspects of alcohol use?
And everybody has to vote their district, and everybody has to stand up for their district and your own beliefs, and those are Senator Mark Johnson's beliefs. We took it as this was a small business trying to grow, and that's what we were trying to help. Those other philosophical differences between senators, that's something for them to fight for in their own district and on the Senate floor.
And finally, one last question, because at a press conference you were asked, why do we still have 3-2 beer in Minnesota? We are the last state in the nation to still have 3-2 beer. And you said that you were going to keep working on it. Is this, now you also said there maybe is going to be a break on liquor legislation for some time, but is this the next peg that needs to be, I don't know, cut off,
Yeah. In that bill that we just passed, 3-2 beer, which was only allowed to be sold at resorts across the state, now that has been lifted. You have Miller Brewing, Budweiser. They don't even want to make 3-2 beer because it's only here in the state of Minnesota. But we've got convenience stores and gas stations. That's all they're allowed to sell. So when they aren't going to get that product in anymore, then that's a product that they don't have to sell, which they do a good deal of sales in 3-2 beer. So I do think it is ridiculous that we are the last state. I don't know if I'm going to be coming back with that next year, but I think it is something that we need to look at and get rid of it.
Senator Karin Housley, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.